You used to be enslaved?
Yes, we used to be slaves.
You were a slave at one time?
No, I was not. I know. I was never. I was born. I was born in the 1950s. So slavery was long gone by then. But I still experience the legacy of slavery.
How?
And the
In what way?
legacy of discrimination.
In what way?
When I experience barriers that exist simply because of the color of my skin, those barriers are still real and they still exist.
So how did you get to APU and do all that, be the dean and do all that if barriers are in your way?
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? It's a miracle. That's a miracle.
Is it possible because they were not there? At least not from the white folks.
That who was not there?
Barriers were not there. It was all in your mind. It's not real.
Oh no, the barriers were there. The barriers are there even now.
But is it still a barrier if you're on the other side of it?
Is being a white Christian different from being a black Christian?
Yes.
In what way?
Heritage.
What?
Black people, even black Christians, have experienced a racial heritage and history in this country that white people have not experienced. In fact, white people have been responsible for black people experiencing this history and heritage. What does that have to do with being
born of God?
Christ over color.
It has nothing to do with being born of God, because black people who are Christians are born of God also. But yet, despite the fact that they were Christian and born of God, they have been treated as subhumans.
Do you want your students to see themselves as black first or as a Christian first?
If they are Christians, if they're black, their Christian identity is tied up in their black identity. Their black identity is tied up in their Christian identity. There is no separation of that. There is no neutral Christianity.
So do you want them to see themselves as black first or Christian first?
I want them to see themselves as human first. See themselves as human first who happen to be black and Christian.
So Christian third.